Hey, what's going on? It's the Niche Lifestyle Show. I'm Doug Cunnington. I have my friends Mark Mars, Adam Smith, and Alex Cooper. So, it's been a couple weeks. I was out of town. I was at a conference in Orlando, Florida, home of Mickey Mouse. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that much. A large rodent and his or her friends out there. And
you get sued for saying his name.
yeah, you can't say anything. I was near Florida. That's all I could really say. So yeah, it was good. It was a really fun time. I actually met people from like our audience, and I think we all know Chelsea Clark. She was actually there. She had a booth, so I was able to interview her, meet her in person, and all that. And she had someone from her team who watches some of our stuff as well. So that was pretty cool. I made it out without COVID, knock on wood. Last year when I went to this conference, I came back, thought maybe I had a little bit of a sore throat, then bam, laid on my ass for like 2.5 weeks. It was insane, but all good this time.
Good old COVID. I thought we got rid of that.
Yeah. I mean, I was actually one of my friends. She got COVID. She left early. But she was like, yeah, it's not too bad. And then like a day later, she was like, I am feeling really terrible. So I think she's okay now, but I didn't hang out with her too much. But anyway, good conference. I'll maybe talk a little bit about it. But yeah, I've been out for a little bit. So good to see you guys. And we'll do a quick little round table. Today, the topic will be, once we get around to it, is basically what you shouldn't waste your time on with niche sites, and maybe we could extend that to some general business practices as well. But that'll be the main topic for today. I see a lot of people in the crowd here. We'll go through in a minute here, but I see Carl and Sue and UK Beauty and a few other people here too. So we'll come around. Oh, Phil's on also, and Bradbury. So we'll say hello to everyone in a sec. But yeah, we'll kick it over to you, Mark, first. So what's been going on?
Yeah, so pretty good week. I was just saying to you before we started recording, or before we went live, Doug, been focusing a lot on working on the business stuff rather than in the business stuff this week, which was the plan for this week. So feeling super productive, like got lots of exciting things happening before the end of the year, lots of exciting things happening before the end of the year that we can't really talk about yet. Not all of them anyway. So we just got working really hard on those right now. So I can't really, it's a bit crap because I can't say anything yet, but
right.
But just know things coming, and I'm working on them real hard. The weather's good here. It's nice and sunny today.
Nice.
So yeah, can't complain.
Right. What a teaser. Some really amazing things. Well, I can't wait to hear what they are when they do come out. How about you, Adam? You're in a different spot. I see you have is that like a wardrobe behind you, a little mirror? It looks like where you put on your makeup or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm in Spain now. So it's an upgrade from the kitchen. I'm in a bedroom now. Working from one of the bedrooms. It's better than the kitchen. But it's good. Yeah, I've been in Spain now for a full week. It's been, so far it's felt a bit like a holiday rather than come over here to work, because every single day last week after work I went to the beach. But like Alex said, I imagine it'll get boring pretty quick going to the beach.
It does get boring pretty quick, yeah.
But it's not boring yet, so I'm still doing it.
No, you're fine. You're good. How are you getting on? How are you finding the food?
Well, Mark was very surprised that I was eating prawns and mussels because I'm the most fussiest eater in the world usually. But yeah,
they love the seafood here.
Yeah, I feel like broadening my horizons, trying new country, new me. Right? Who's this?
How was Spanish Burger King? We didn't get to catch up on that. How was Spanish Burger King?
Absolutely rubbish. Terrible.
Well, but surely Burger King anywhere is just terrible generally.
That's true. Yeah.
I tell you what though, in here
different kind of rubbish.
You can get a beer in Burger King.
Oh, nice.
It's part of your meal.
What I have been finding over here is when you ask for a beer in the restaurants, they ask if you want a small, medium, or large. and a large is a 1 litre. It comes out in a massive 1 litre pint. I'm like,
You
that is
never have
large.
a large, otherwise you just look so English.
Yeah, I know. Well, I made the
Pint of
mistake.
beer. Yeah.
That's
You just
awesome.
want a Kenya, or I like to say a Copa de Civetta, which is basically like a wine glass of beer. Far
Okay.
more sophisticated. And obviously, the reason why they don't drink big beers is because it's warm here, and by the time you're halfway through it, your beer's warm.
Yeah.
Oh, you're drinking
That's why
too
you have small
slow.
beers. You used to have little beers and have more of them. And another good bit of Spanish for you is una más. One more. So
Una más.
that's the way to do it.
Yeah. Adam, are you sort of fair skinned? I think all of us, like I have a strong like Irish English background, so I sunburn like crazy. So when I was in Orlando, if I like walked in the sun for a second, I'm like putting sunscreen on, like I just burn. So yeah, how is it for you, Adam?
Same. Yeah. Every day, put suntan cream on. I'm fatted up to the eyeballs, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the chore of like slapping it on yourself and the kids every day.
All
Yeah.
right. Cool.
And how are you getting on with the language? Is that are the people near you? Are the Spanish speaking English with you, or?
Yeah, we're in a fact. We're so exactly where we are. There's not a lot of. I mean, there is English speaking, obviously, but it's it feels like the Spanish retirement place where we are. There's lots of old Spanish people and lots of the restaurants. Like they don't speak English very good at all. Like, in fact, some of them just speak it terribly. They don't speak it at all. So
No.
yeah, I'm struggling on some of the things.
Yeah, okay, good. Have you installed Duolingo yet on your phone?
No, we did try the Google Translate thing the other day, and that
What do
just
Google
didn't
Translate? That's the thing. It will always get it wrong because of the way the verbs work in Spanish. You know,
Yeah.
it needs to know context in order to give you the right word. So yeah, I would avoid Google Translate, but Duolingo daily is a good way to learn some vocabulary.
Yeah, it worked so badly the Google Translate that we just had to leave the restaurant and go somewhere else because we couldn't
If
figure
you
out
actually
what
offended them or something,
Yeah.
to always get it.
Not even with charades.
Nope.
yeah, it's fun.
All right.
Yeah.
So Alex, what's new with you? You sound crisp and super clear with the new microphone there.
Yeah, the Shaw arrived. Here it is. I think have I mounted it upside down? It looks like it.
That's okay.
Yeah, luckily doesn't matter with sound, does it? You can put it either way. All good here. Kids are back to school on Monday. I mean, the summer's over, so that means I'm being a little bit more productive than I was. The weather's changed. Like, hit the 1st September, like summer's gone. It's got a bit cooler, but still very nice. It was my son's first day at Spanish school. He was in the English school last year, but this year we put him in the Spanish school. So he absolutely hates me and everything about Spain. As you can imagine, going to school where you don't speak the language is quite overwhelming, I guess. But he's pulling through. He's putting on a brave face and getting on with it. So very proud of him for doing that. Hopefully, I mean, everyone says you put them in the school, 3 to 6 months they'll be fluent. So
Yeah.
we'll see. On the website front, I posted an update today. It looks like Dartpix, which was a site that I've been working on, one of my niche website projects, seems to have recovered. It's bounced back up again, although it bounced up a month or so ago and then went down again. So as we were saying before we went live, it's maybe not going to hold my breath just yet on that one, but traffic is higher than it's ever been. And
Oh, wow.
I did some searches earlier, and a lot of the keywords that had disappeared seem to be back and seem to have good placement, near the top. So that's very positive. So I'm going to start pushing my writers back onto that site to crank out the content. I'd kind of left it. I don't know what you guys do when one of your sites hits a dip. I just seem to just like abandon it for a while. Just to I don't want to throw any more time and money at it. I'm going to wait and see. So as it looks like it's recovered, I'm going to start putting some more time and money on it again.
How's the popcorn site doing? Is there any increase or decrease?
Popcorn site is doing well. It's a bit flatter, to be fair, than Dartpix, but still growth. It's up 30%, I think, last month.
Nice.
The AI article that I created with Jasper on how to remove popcorn from your teeth is floating around the top of page 1 for lots of keywords now. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to get some links built to that article and see if I can push it higher up. Though at the very top is a dentistry website, which maybe maybe tricky to beat. But I don't know. I'm feeling optimistic on those things.
That's cool. What about you other guys? Did you see any movement with the latest algorithm update that's rolling out?
Yeah, just two of my sites have gone up nicely, but like I was saying before, I've had bad experience in the past. These rollouts roll out for like 2 weeks, right? When I've had sites increase initially and then drop off the cliff a week later. So, I mean, I'm fingers crossed that's not what's happening here. But
were these sites hit previously and they recovered, or they've just like jumped up? They were doing okay, now they've had a bit of a spike.
Yeah, they've been sailed through the other updates and now jumping up. So yeah, I don't know. One was up about 30% yesterday. I'm looking at it again today versus the same day last week, and it's almost done the same amount of traffic as the whole day last week. It's probably going to be up like 70 to 80% today versus the same week.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen on the kind of general Twitter sphere and other places, some people have been posting some huge jumps on their sites, like massive spikes, which is quite exciting. And it can kind of change your whole frame for the day, can't it? When you should maybe check analytics in the morning. You pour your coffee, you log in, and you're either going to have a good day or a bad day, depending on how that graph looks.
Yeah. I haven't looked, actually. No. I haven't looked at all. Yeah,
there's definitely some movement. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on? I mean, I've never known this many updates in this kind of frequency. What do you think's going on?
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. They hired some extra engineers or something so they can do it more often, or maybe there's just like there's a flag that they're turning on and off, and it's like fuck up the results or give good results. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
I wonder if they like they pushed up the helpful content update where everyone thought it's going to get rid of all the spammy sites and Forbes wasn't going to be ranking for best tire trucks and stuff, and that didn't happen. And I wonder if some of these updates just don't have the desired effect, and that means they've got to push out more updates. Then I don't know.
Well, they're refining them all the time, right?
I mean, how do they test them?
Yeah.
I think they just roll them out live and cross their fingers.
They do roll back right sometimes, right, and tweak them after. So
yeah,
but like,
I mean,
I don't know if there is more. Do we know if there's more? Or are they naming more? Right, because they they tweak the algorithm every day, and like
I think
just because
2021 or was it 2021 or 2022? They had 10 updates throughout the year, so this is now equal to. There's been 10 updates apparently this year.
10 core updates.
Not core updates, just updates that they've announced throughout the year. So I think this year's on track to be the most ever. So I don't know.
That's officially announced ones, right? I don't know if they're announcing them more frequently.
Yeah, maybe.
Updates are going on, doing updates all the time, right?
Yeah.
I wish they'd go back to stop announcing them then, because we all lived a blissfully ignorant life if they were doing this and they just weren't announcing them. Right. Everyone just didn't care.
When I think, Mark, I've heard that too, where it's, basically if you look at the algorithm as a whole, there are multiple updates coming out every day, but like the major ones, it does seem like there's more, or they are just announcing it to mess with everyone, which could, that could be a tactic to like prevent people from trying, certain strategies or something like that, where everyone's just a lot more cautious. But I think the problem with that is there's so many people who are cautious and not doing anything out of the ordinary that are impacted that like it may not have the impact that they're looking for. I'm just speculating. I don't know anyone there. So
who knows? It's strange, but I think the results seem a little bit better. The one thing I did a live stream last night. I had some guests come on. Sean Mars was one of them, and he's been affected by the new widget that they've got. I don't know if you've seen this on any of your search results, where they pull in like Reddit and forums and maybe Quora as well, and they kind of put it all into one little neat box. I think it's like the second result, and that can really push your site down. And I find myself using Reddit and forums to find some decent information rather than a site that's been.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, yeah, as users of Google, do you guys trust the results as much? Are you like having to do weird things to get what you want? Because I find that where I'm like, these results suck. And I have heard people talk about just like the decline of, I don't know if it was you guys, but like the decline of Google search because the results are shittier and we can go to other sources. Like we're trying to get Reddit. Like you put in a query and you put Reddit on the end because you don't want the other garbage.
Yeah.
I think we're
that
probably
does happen,
more.
and that happens a lot.
We're probably more acute to it as well, right? Because we're in the space and we know what's going on. I think back to when we were like a couple of years back. We were looking for a new vacuum, and she's like, "Oh, just Google what the best vacuum is." She ended up on like a top 10 best. She's like, "Oh, this is the best one because we've got a dog." I'm like, "It's probably not the best one because
They probably never even tested it."
No, so it's like we're in the space, we know that, but the majority of people probably don't know that. So I don't know if they see that, Doug. Maybe they do. I don't know.
I feel I trust, going into a conversation on Reddit about people talking about vacuum cleaners for dogs and saying, "Oh, I got this, I got that." I would trust that more. Probably, I mean, it takes longer to kind of read through it and decide which one's the best. But that is real opinion, then, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Yeah. Anything else on the update or observations before we hit the main topic of today? Cool.
No, I'm really interested to see what happens over the next week or so, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, I'll add one more thing. Like Adam, you were talking about like how much traffic was up. It always makes me nervous whenever there's like a big swing like that because I mean, you mentioned that too, but it's just like, oh man, like I would much rather have like slow, steady growth than like big swings. Cause in my head, that means like you're on the threshold of whatever it is they're tweaking. So like that's scary for this update, for the future updates. I've just seen like a seesaw situation so many times, but you can't do it. I mean, not that you can do anything about it, but
no. I hate seeing big downswings more than upswings, but I mean, I'd rather not see a move either way, to be honest. I mean, not a big move. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of upwards in an update, but more like this one.
Often you see it like a couple of days. I've had definitely situations where you see an up a couple of days before the update officially rolls out, and then it becomes a down when it rolls out. Yeah. So like they're obviously doing some kind of testing and rolling out prior to the official day that they say that happens.
Yeah, what a mess. Anyway, all right. Yeah, we'll talk about it more in future streams for sure. Okay, so today we're going to talk about things you shouldn't waste time on for your niche sites and maybe like online business in general. I know when I first got started, I was just completely green. I didn't know anything, so I was consuming all this information, and I won't be specific. I'm going to pass it around to you guys to share some of your time wasters or things that you observe. But for me, I know one of the areas I identified was around absorbing all this information, and then I would hear a podcast or watch a YouTube video where someone was extremely convincing on whatever it was. Maybe they were sharing a case study on an N of 1, and I came out of whatever that content was thinking I have to do that. I am like, maybe they even said, you're making a huge mistake if you're not spending time on X. And I didn't know enough to like discern like what was credible and what wasn't. Most of the time, someone was selling like a product or a service, or somehow they were biased to promote whatever it was, especially if it's like an N of 1. Like that is not very convincing to me now. Like I need to see it repeated, and like not like the scientific method, like not them repeating it, someone else repeating it with the right variables and following the instructions or whatever. So there were so many times where I listened to something, went down a path, implemented all the shit, and then it didn't work because it was just like a fluke. They just got lucky. Maybe it was good timing. Maybe it was something like that. So that was like the biggest sin. And I did it over and over again until I started to ignore some of the messaging that were purely marketing messages, not true case studies. So again, not specific, but that was a big thing. And I won't call on anyone specific, but if anyone wants to raise their hand, if you have some things that you wasted time on early on, pass it to you.
Oh well,
Well,
Mark,
I'm not going to go
Mark.
into. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go into specific ones because I don't want to. Like, there's definitely. I mean, there's definitely things I wasted time on. I'm not going to say that it's that it came from particularly from an influencer or anything like that, or someone who's trying to sell a course or whatever. But this thing. I just happened to be talking to Elena earlier, not consciously about this, but there's some things that we were talking about which are kind of like not great ways to spend your time. One of those is trying to make every traffic light green on Yoast.
I was going to say that one.
Like Yoast is Yoast or whatever. Any of those plugins, they've got a pro version. They've got to seem really detailed and really comprehensive, right? But the reality is that I don't follow anything on those because most of it is going to have no impact or at best little impact on your results. So that's one thing I would say just completely avoid. The other thing is meta descriptions. Google overwrites meta descriptions the vast majority of the time. And when I was speaking to Elena about it this morning, we actually sort of started Googling some results with my sites and seeing the results that came up where I haven't provided any meta descriptions. Google gets it, like, you'd be surprised how good it is. Like, Google gets it bang on those meta descriptions half the time. Probably better than what you end up writing.
Sometimes you get like affiliate disclaimer coming up as the meta description and stuff like that.
I don't know. You rarely say that now. I mean, the ones I was testing, we did a few this morning, and like they were great, to be honest. So Google overwrites, I can't remember if it's 70-80% of the meta descriptions anyway. So you're wasting your time 70-80% of the time. And even when they do, like, are you really going to get that much of a gain from what you've written versus what Google chose to put in there? Like, how often do you read the meta description that really makes a difference to whether you click on something or not? Anyway, as well, like,
I think it does affect CTR. I'd say it does affect the CTR quite considerably. I don't know.
But what, better than Google's?
No, you're absolutely right. But I think the meta description I changed one recently. I had on my tooth one, actually, on the thing. There's a keyword I'm going for: how to remove popcorn from your teeth without floss. And it had taken the snippet, because it's like halfway down the article. It had taken the snippet from the article Google had, and I'd written something like, "If you haven't got floss, then why not try some of the methods mentioned above?" Which obviously doesn't really make much sense when you're reading that off Google, because they don't know what the ones are above. So to change the snippet, I just went in and rewrote that bit of the article. But, if you haven't got any floss, try a toothpick, try a toothbrush, that kind of stuff. And then Google then took that as the meta description. And I don't know if that's had an effect. I should have measured that probably, but it's very hard to measure the click-through rate on a particular page, I guess.
I suppose that's good in that case where you're doing one-offs. But if you're actively doing 100% of your meta descriptions, which is taking you a lot of time, it's probably not so bad if you're writing the articles and then you just do the meta description at the same time.
I think it's something to be aware of when you're writing your article, like, especially if you're answering a question within that article. This could be picked up as a snippet. I need to make it, either encourage a click-through rate. I don't know. It's tricky, a click-through, but then also give the information. Because a lot of time you can get the answer without even clicking through, can't you?
Do you think the title's more enticing for click-through than the meta description, though? Because
definitely, yeah.
Is it best to spend your time crafting a better title maybe than the meta description, considering, like, say, 60 or 70% of the time the meta is going to be rewritten anyway, even if you do spend the time to craft it? I know Google were testing rewriting titles at some point, weren't they, a couple of months back, but I don't see them doing that anymore.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, this is from my Google AdWords days. What we used to do with the headline is always try and include the search or the keyword in the headline, because what tends to happen is when people look at the search results page, their eye just scans down trying to find relevant information. So therefore, if the headline matches very closely to what they've searched, you're going to get a higher click-through rate. So in theory, Google may move the title around so that it does match up with whatever it is they're searching for.
Nice.
But okay, so in terms of other SEO things, what about alt tags? Is that a waste of time?
I don't think so. I think that's probably, although I don't always do alt tags, I should, but I don't think that one's a waste of time. I think the meta description stuff, complete waste of time. I stopped doing that in like 2016. And I just like I think everything's fine. But yeah, alt tags, I say that's probably worthwhile. What do you think?
It's so quick to add them. I don't know if you could call it a waste of time, particularly like when you're uploading an image, you just type it in at the same time, and it's pretty quick.
Yeah, I've been more conscious of naming my images using descriptive file names, and then also quickly adding an alt tag. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say that then. I think the descriptive file name it's just best practice, isn't it? When you save an image, you save it as the descriptive file name and you upload it. And then it's really easy to copy and paste the same descriptive file name as the alt tag when you upload it to WordPress.
Yeah.
You might as well do it when you're there. I don't think doesn't take any additional time apart from a paste, really, that one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, there's lots of interesting comments from the crowd.
Yeah. Well, before we go too deep, Adam, do you have any like quick hit time wasters that you did?
Yeah, I think so. And I think a lot of people talk about these ones is like logo design and just design of the site in general. Like which theme should I use? How do I make it
the
look
colors,
super
the fonts?
pretty?
Yeah,
what font? Should I go with logo A, B, C, D, or E? And they all look the same. That's not going to have any impact on the.
No one cares.
No one really gives a shit, to be fair. So yeah, I think that's a big one.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, the corporate world, they love that. Whenever you'd have meetings about a new website design or something, they would just spend hours and hours. Maybe this color blue. No, I think this color blue might be better. Should we add shadows, round corners, square corners? They'd just spend days and days talking about it, and none of it mattered.
Yep.
It's just got to look clean and clear and professional, and that's it.
Yeah.
There's lots of branding people having heart attacks now.
Yeah, exactly. So Bradbury says, my issue is tinkering with things in the back end. I seem to like messing about with the server, mail servers, WordPress installs, etc., and get very little done. It does feel pretty productive when you're doing all that stuff, but yeah, it is probably not the best thing to spend time on until there could be a point where like you do need to work on, like Phil said, page speed and some of the other design elements, but most of the time it's like just get moving, get some traffic, and then you could figure it out a little bit later. So
but you can waste a day messing around with your Google PageSpeed score though, can't you? Just trying to get it up. Yeah,
I am guilty of that. I over optimized and just spent, not just a day. I spent probably like a week or so just working on it, tweaking, like doing little things. And
I've gone up an extra couple of points.
Yeah. I wanted to
reanalyze the page and realize actually you've gone down a couple of points. You stop putting your hair up.
You're like, yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, I had a full head of hair when I started, and then boom.
Just spending time on perfection in general, I think, is a problem, right? People trying to get things perfect.
For sure.
Going through this data project and looking at like literally thousands of sites, you wouldn't believe some of the sites that are getting insane amounts of traffic that look like they've been put together by a 5-year-old. Like it's become a game now because it's a bit boring doing this thing. So I've made it into a game where I try and guess the traffic of the site based on the design. I'm so wrong lots of the times. Like this site looks absolutely rubbish. Look, it's getting like 500,000 visitors a month. What? So yeah, design is just not important. Well, do we want to caveat that and say design isn't important as long as user experience is good? Because bad user experience through bad design, I think, is a factor for SEO.
Yeah.
I think all of these things are important to a point. It's as Mark said, it's trying to then get that perfection level. You need to have a certain level of design, like you need to have a certain page speed score. If you're getting 10, then that's the problem. That's probably worth spending a bit of time on. But trying to get it up from 80 to 90 is probably not a good use of your time. So I think design, there is a baseline where it has to look clean and give a good user experience. But yeah, obsessing about which color and which font is a waste of time. And the same with SEO. There are some basic things you need to do, but don't spend hours and hours just obsessing trying to get that 100 out of 100 or that green light in your SEO plugin.
Yep. And well, the one other thing is, I know there are a lot of people like us that talk about these topics, and I know I have like talked to people, and they're like, "Yeah, I just use Yoast, and I try to make everything green." And I think the people that I'm talking about, they're maybe more, they're less experienced, they're newer. So they're like giving advice. So I would say like, make sure you kind of know the experience level of people that you're getting advice from. And then maybe if it's something like we kind of disagree on the meta description. So maybe that's a thing where you're like, oh, I need to evaluate that myself. So some people think it's important, or some people think a logo is important, or the design, or a lot of time with branding and stuff like that. And it does depend on your specific brand. I spend like almost no time. You all have logos. I don't have a logo on my site, and it's fine. It's probably not the best thing in the world, but I just moved on, and I think I create enough content where like that is the brand versus like any specific logo. Although my VA said I should have T-shirts with my bald head on there, and I was like,
You could
that
make
could be kind of funny.
logo out of your head. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, that could be pretty good. And
But where did you get your logo from, Mark and Adam? Did you spend thousands with some design agency, or did you come up with it on the back of a cigarette packet? How did you?
We tried to get someone to do it, and we hated them all, so I just did it.
that's fair.
Did you have to pay for the ones you hated?
No.
Okay.
That was a good design agency.
All right.
Okay.
So I got
my logo. I just purchased it from Invator.
Oh, nice. Yeah, keep it simple. All right, I got a couple questions that we're gonna roll through here. One, I'm gonna get to numerology 101. They're panicking, they're freaking the fuck out, but we're gonna answer the question. So Carl does say wasting time on stupid like black hat or whatever services like pop star naming, essentially spammy lower authority links. Yeah, so I did that too, where like that's what we were doing at the time, and someone's like, hey, I hired this person on a forum, it's $100, my site skyrocketed, blah blah blah. So I you don't know what you don't know, so I made a lot of mistakes like that. Okay.
Yeah. But what about blog commenting? Spending ages on different sites, just trying to put something useful so you get your comment approved to get that no follow link.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yeah. So numerology 101 says, my site got hit by the helpful content update. Can I recover the site? So I would generally say yes. If like given a long enough timeline, you can recover your site. Further, numerology says, am I wasting time on working on a site that got hit by a Google helpful content update? Guys, please give me advice. So Mark, what do you think?
So I think, it can be recovered, but I think what Adam and I were just talking about this the other day is that quite often people are looking for like a one-size-fits-all kind of solution to stuff. It's like, oh yeah, just do this. Just update your meta descriptions, and all will be good. You get recover the update, and it's just not going to work like that. There's going to be in any update. There's multiple things that are being changed and multiple things. So it's not going to be one size fits all. I think the best thing that you can do is kind of look at all of the core like foundation things that you should have done or should have done, and revisit those maybe as a first instance. The second thing is maybe take a look at the SERPs for the search terms that you're no longer ranking for, and see what those sites, see what the demographics are the wrong word, but what shape those websites are. So I don't mean just like content. I mean like what kind of links have they got? Like what kind of authority have they got? What is their content like? Is it take a look at what's replaced you in the SERPs and kind of compare that side by side with your site and say, okay, what are they doing that I'm not doing that I could be doing better? And I think that's going to be the best approach for anyone, because you can't just say this is the fix. Like you need to do some analysis yourself.
Cool. Anything to add,
I'd
guys?
say just don't panic. So when Darkmix got hit, I didn't do any more work on it. I think sometimes you just got to give it a little bit of time. As we said, there's been a lot of rollouts going on at the moment, a lot of updates. They take a while to bed in. Sites do go up and down. It'd be interesting to know what your site is, and maybe we could take a look and see something blatantly obvious. But as has already been said, it probably means that your content isn't as good as other people's content. And obviously, numerology is a very competitive niche, I'd imagine.
And just a quick note, we're not going to review it here, but if you want to hop on another live stream in the future, especially Alex's, I think you do a lot of reviews.
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, not in this format for today. And we got some other good comments to roll through. And Adam, do you have anything to add?
No,
Yeah,
I think Mark covered. I'll go for Mark.
No, so yeah, I think you're going to say no, but then you did. Okay. But yeah, no. The only thing I've add about spending more time and money on it is that it depends on your own personal circumstances. I think if it's your only site, then and it's your only asset, then. But yeah, you don't want to just give up all of that time and money that you've invested in that and give it up. You've got to try and do what you can to try and recover it. However, if you've got a portfolio of sites, it may be that actually you can then direct some more of your investment into those ones that are doing well, that are winning, them, maybe gained in the update than lost, and maybe just divert your attention a little bit whilst trying to fix it a little bit on the side. But maybe you divert your time a little bit more, depending on which sites seem to be doing well versus not so well. So it depends on your own personal circumstances, I think, a little bit in that case.
That's what you did, right, Alex? You stopped working on the dark side.
Yeah, I focused on the one that was growing, and yeah. So I've always said to run more than one site, but I know a lot of you guys think, especially for beginners, they should focus on the one site. But the problem is yeah, if it gets hit by something, all your eggs are in that one basket.
Yeah, definitely pros and cons. So Sarav says, is it taking longer these days to rank your articles? I have a 1-year-old site, and the articles I wrote 8 or 9 months back are ranking now. And I would say generally yes. You guys agree, probably?
For sure.
It depends. I've seen articles that are ranked in a few hours. Really depends on the keyword and the niche and all sorts of things.
Depends on the site as well. If the site's brand new, like if they were the first articles you post 9 months ago, then yeah, that makes sense. If there's an authority site that's around, like you say, like Alex says, you can get post indexed the same day or the next day or very, very quickly. It depends on the site and the age and the authority and standing with Google, lots of different factors.
Yep. As a rule, though, I would say generally it has been extending, especially compared to like 6 or 7 years ago. It is a little bit slower, in the age of specific posts like does make a difference. So
I definitely agree with that. It definitely seems longer. And also, I mean, depending on how quickly you can kind of create content as well. This is a reason as well, maybe to start on one site if you've only got limited time, is that I think it was John Mueller the other day that we saw. He said something along the lines: it's hard to call a site with only 50 posts on an authority site. Like, you've got to get to a certain kind of threshold before you start getting recognition and I'm struggling for words again today, but like some credibility in the eyes of Google. So if you've been creating posts of one a week, and now you've got to 50 or so, and now they're ranking, maybe that's a factor as well as like, you've got some sort of critical mass of content that means that Google's taking you more seriously than they were. So if you've got multiple sites and you're just putting 20 on each or whatever, then that's you're not maybe reaching that critical mass soon enough.
Cool. So Phil mentions that alt tags are, can someone shut the kids up? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, hang on. I will.
I'm just kidding. So
still, which one hasn't got kids out of the four of us?
So Phil says alt tags are really for readers, so aim for that. Google will love it. And while Alex is stepping away, we could talk bad about him. No, while Alex stepping away, I will mention one thing that I do see a lot, and I was guilty of this too, but people just spend too much time researching and analyzing and continuing to analyze and continuing to search, and they want like security that they're not going to waste time. But you will never get that, especially if you're doing something interesting. There's always a risk to it. You have to take a little bit of a chance. You have to put money into it. You have to put your time, whatever resources you have, like you will have to spend time working on it, and you won't know if it's going to work out. And people just spend too much time. Unfortunately, like we're all trying to create content that people will consume with our podcast, with YouTube and all that. So keep watching our stuff. But like, if you limit your inputs and just do more work, you'll probably come out ahead. Like, you may still waste a little bit of time. I was just kidding, Alex, by the way. That was
No, it's fine. I don't know what's up with her. She's emotional.
everything okay?
Yeah, I think so. It's nothing important. Just kids.
Okay.
You know.
All right.
They were annoying me. I thought my wife's up there. I thought she'd have shut them up, but
Yeah.
Maybe that mic's just too good now.
Yeah. We need like a child
that's the
filter.
problem. Yeah, it's the mic. It picks up everything.
So the point that I was making, Alex, was just people spend too much time researching and not enough time taking action. So at some point, you've learned what you needed to. You can only learn more by doing things. And I think like there needs to be a lot of time taking action versus learning. There's some balance, right? You can't blindly do things without knowing what you're doing, but there's a balance to get into there.
Of course, yeah. You'll learn most stuff just by doing it.
And Jason says, putting in a meta description is another place to feed the keyword to Google, and it's an opportunity to tell them what it's about. So why waste the opportunity? That's a good way to look at it, I guess. I can't disagree.
Yeah, I don't think Google's going to take any keywords you put in your meta description.
I don't think it's a ranking factor. Yeah, I think it's more a click-through rate factor than a ranking factor.
And Chris, our fine graphic designer, feels personally attacked. It wasn't directed at you specifically, Chris. These thumbnails look great. All right. And hammering through here, trying to get to the questions. Oh, Jonathan asks about scanning for spelling mistakes and grammar. I would say, yeah, 100%. That's a visitor experience thing. So, get that right, and that's not going to harm you.
Yeah, just get a free version of Grammarly.
Yep, totally.
Yeah, I think you will. Google will definitely penalise you if you. And that's one of the things they mentioned in the latest update. Grammar errors and spelling mistakes. They are going to knock a few points off for that.
And Ahmed asks about removing the featured image from the top of a post. Will that help out site speed? So just
Can you do this the other day? Did you do that, Alex, the other day? I was talking to somebody who said they did it based on
No.
I did it. Yeah, I did it on Dartpix because the reason I thought it had lost a lot of ranking was because it was failing Web Core Vitals. So I removed that. There's an option within Popcorn Theme actually that you can just click a button and it will take them out. And then I started passing Web Core Vitals, and hey, today the site's come back. I don't know if it was down to that or it's to do with the update. It could be either, but definitely it's had a good effect on the Web Core Vitals. So
yeah,
top tip, yeah.
Well, you heard it here first. Get the Popcorn Theme. Your rankings will skyrocket. That is how you recover from this latest update. Popcorn Theme. It's V2, right? Is that right?
V2 is imminent.
Wow, that's amazing.
But that's going to have a lot more customization options, full site builder and all that. So, but the old one's still going to be available, I think. Hopefully, I don't know.
Okay.
The good thing about the theme at the moment is there is not too much customization. You can literally not waste too much time adjusting everything,
Awesome. So as we're continuing to go through the chats and stuff like that, feel free to ask more questions. If we can get some more likes, that'll be amazing. We're not going to do a giveaway, but it's just for our egos. We really like to get more thumbs ups.
Doug, everyone's crying out for you to get some merch, Doug. All of our channels are like, Doug needs to get some merch. What's going on?
Yeah, well, that is the branding thing. And probably the longer I delay, like the bigger it's going to be. So we'll see how it goes. Technically, you can get these shirts now. If you go to milehighfi.com/store, you can get these shirts. And I'm not sure how long it's going to be around, but we are doing it now. And there's mugs and like water bottle. There's boxers. The picture of the guy in boxers is me, actually. They put a different head on there, but that's me. So if anybody wants to check that out.
He's going to rip the bottom now. We're talking about the size package in the boxers.
Yeah. So I don't have any of the boxers yet, but we are working on getting like mesh tank tops. It's hard to find the right material. It chafes the nipples quite a bit. So yeah. So we've been testing a lot.
Nipple tape, branded nipple tape.
Pasties. Yeah. So anyway, I think in the last 30 seconds that exactly answers why I don't have any merch right now, but I'll look into it. I think I may use like Redbubble, do some simple logos, and then, at affiliate gathering next year, there's going to be a bunch of people walking around with my dumb face on their t-shirts.
Yeah, I like the idea of the bald head play.
Yeah.
Bald head silhouette or something.
No lettering, nothing, just my face.
Yeah. Well, I think you, Adam Mark, could do some good merch with your heads, with the beards and the glasses. There's something that could look kind of cool there.
Do people really want that, though?
No one wants it, but it could look.
Well, the two Ronnies.
You could wear them. Yeah, a bit like the two Ronnies, exactly. Doug has no idea who they are.
There is two Ronnies logos, isn't there?
You know the two Ronnies? Doug, have you heard of the two Ronnies?
No, I don't think
so. A very classic comedy sketch in the UK. Two guys, they did some great sketches. It was from like the 60s, 70s, maybe 70s probably.
Oh,
you never heard of Four Candles?
No, but I love British Monty Python and Rowan Atkinson, and big fan of all that.
It's a similar kind of thing. Check out the two Ronnies, you'll like it, especially the Four Candles sketch. Guy goes into the shop and he says, I need 4 candles. The guy goes and gets 4 candles. No. Handles for forks. I've ruined it. You have to watch.
All right. I'll have to check it. This is my biggest takeaway. 2 Ronnies. Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Check that.
This whole live stream was worthwhile then. Okay.
Wait, didn't we say this is the stream about not wasting time? Now Doug's going away looking at 4 candles, 2 Ronnies.
Yeah. Don't do as I do.
I'll put a link in the chat, which is a silhouette of the 2 Ronnies with the glasses and a thing. So yeah.
Okay. You
can take inspiration.
Cool. All right. Numerology asked about Ahrefs and SEMrush, and I would say it's just your preference. I think Ahrefs has a better backlink database.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Lotto asked about advice on spending more than $1,000 on a domain. So I would say if you are going that route, definitely look at aged domains. I know Niche Website Builders, you guys have some of those in your inventory, right?
Yeah, $1,000 for an aged domain, that is actually not a big budget, to be fair. I mean, most quality ones will cost more than $1,000. If you're talking about $1,000 on a domain without just a non-aged domain, just for a branded, then I think it's a personal thing. Nobody can tell you how much that brand is worth to you, that branded domain is worth to you, and what you're going to turn it into. I mean, Google didn't pay $1,000 for their domain because nobody cared about the brand of Google back then, but today it's worth way more. So it's just personal preference if it's not an aged domain. If it is an aged domain, then $1,000 budget is, you can buy
Yeah, maybe be able to get one that's low authority, but at least it's aged, so you had to skip the sandbox, but it'd be low authority. You wouldn't get much in terms of a backlink profile for that, probably.
And then, for this milehighfi.com, I think we paid $750, so it was a good name. It fit. We didn't have a great alternative, and we were like, we'll go for it. We do the branding and the way it sounds. So we went for it, and that's the most I've ever paid for just a domain for the vanity sake of it. All right, and I'm trying to go. There's a lot of chat going on. El Couch says, "Does anyone know if putting a copyright on your site matters?" So I think you can kind of put it on there to be official, but I think technically consult a lawyer, and this is just entertainment. But I think you already have the copyright, and if you note it on there, that's fine, but it doesn't really matter because technically you've published it and it's provable. So anyone else want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I think the same. I think if someone wants to copy your website, they don't care if you've got copyright at the bottom. But you can always, if someone's blatantly done a copy and paste job, you can always just file a DMCA notice or something like that. whether you've got copyright or not. You own the copyright to that. So.
Yep. Cool. And Sonia's asking about Core Web Vitals. I think it's beyond the scope of what we'll be able to talk about today. So I would say Google this. Do you guys have any content on this specifically that we could point Sonia towards?
Yeah, I've got a few on. It's pretty old, and it's pretty called Google PageSpeed Score, which is what they used to call it. If you Google PageSpeed Checker or whatever, Google PageSpeed, you'll find the Google tool. You can put your website in there, and it will give you your Web Core Vital score, and then it will also give you some ideas in terms of how you can improve that. You can also get details on it within your Webmaster Console and tell you how you're doing on that.
Also, though, I just want to add, like you say, you can spend days messing around with stuff for your Web Core Vitals. There are services like WP Speed Fix It and stuff, which for a couple $100, they'll do it all for you. You don't have to learn this stuff. You don't have to become an expert. You don't have to spend days figuring it out. They'll fix it for you. If depends on where you are in your journey, right? And depends on what you value your time at.
Or you can just get better hosting and install like a plugin like WP Rocket or Ezoic Leap or something, and that'll fix it too. That actually leads on to a nice point in terms of wasting time, and that is something I learned in business when I first started, when I used to do all my own like accounts and reconciliation and tax returns and all that stuff. You're better off paying someone who knows how to do that stuff for them to do it, because you can be spending time on the stuff that you're doing, which maybe makes money. And yeah, I think that's a big mistake a lot of people make in business in general, is they just try and do everything themselves rather than spending money with professional people that can do it a lot quicker and a lot better and save your time for more important stuff.
Yep. And as a quick contrast, I do my own bookkeeping, but I do have an accountant to handle quarterly tax payments and other things. But I do like to do the bookkeeping just so I have a direct handle on exactly like money coming in and money going out. And it doesn't take me that long. It's about an hour per month, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I do it again. I do it myself now, but that's only because I've got some decent software. I think that's a very important thing to invest in, is some decent accountancy software. I use Xero, and it works really well because it hooks up with the bank and allows me to reconcile really quickly.
And as a free option, I use one called Wave. Similar functionality, and they've come a long way. But if someone hasn't started, or if they're looking for a solution and they're not sure if they want to pay yet, I think Xero is pretty cheap though. But Wave is pretty powerful for a free tool, and I've used it for a few years. So, all right, as we're wrapping up here, Lotto says, should you LLC your website? If you want to, I don't think it's completely necessary. I would potentially wait until you're earning a significant amount of money. But, at least in the US, you're talking about an LLC. So I think you're probably in the US. I'm not 100% sure.
We do have that here as well. Or is it an LLP here? We generally have limited companies here.
Okay.
Private limited companies. So
yeah,
as Doug says, if you start to earn some money, it's nice to keep it separate. It keeps it clean. You get yourself a business bank account. You can put your business expenses through there. Just, if it's messing up on your personal bank account and stuff, it can become a bit messy when you start moving.
And you can put your whole portfolio through that one business as well. There was someone talking to, I can't remember now. But they're creating a new business for every website that they had, which
that's a little excessive, probably. Yeah.
Oh,
that's a lot of accountancy bills, because if you do have a company, then you do have obligations in terms of filing accounts and stuff.
No, I remember why they were doing it. It was because they got their Amazon account closed down, and all their websites were in that. So, but you can only have one personal Amazon account, Amazon Associates account. So they were creating a new business, and then they were creating a separate Amazon Associate account for each business, because the business could have an account. So I think they just had a real scare. Like, their account got closed, and they were like, "Oh my god, I never want to go through that again." So I'll create a new LLC for every website and have a new account on every website.
Yep.
It's got to be an easier way.
Follow the rules, baby.
Yeah. All right, and we'll call this the last question. Lotto also asks about TikTok SEO. TikTok has taken 40% of Google's traffic, so I'll go first.
I do love made-up statistics.
Yeah.
Is that true? Because I've never heard that.
No, of course that's not true.
So
They're completely different, and Google's a search engine for a start. I don't know. I don't think
I did read something though.
searching TikTok.
It doesn't TikTok get more hits a month than Google now, more traffic, actual visitors than Google every month now?
Yeah, I heard that too.
It's just people in bed scrolling through, like you and your wife.
That's me. You're looking at me.
Yeah.
yeah, I think, you have to look at your business model. So I would say if the business model needs traffic or attention from TikTok, then do that. And then if you're trying to do something else, then maybe that's not the best top end funnel. So I think maybe I could get a lot more views and attention on TikTok, maybe, but I doubt it would have a strong connection with the end user like I do with a podcast. So it depends on what your business model is. And, we're not here to tell you what to do with your business. So me, I don't care about TikTok. I deleted it off my phone. I'm, just moving on with my life. Everything's fine. So do you guys have anything else?
Yeah, I also think it depends on the type of content that you make on TikTok as well, because there's what I consider the crap content. There's a guy from where I live. I was showing Mark his profile the other day. He's managed to get 750,000 followers and like 10 million likes. And all he does is stitches together other people's like top 10 scariest ride videos. And he starts it off by pointing and going like, these are the top 10 scariest rides. And then he splices the videos together. I think, all right, he's got a lot of followers, but it's crap content. Like, what's he going to do with that? Versus, there's another guy I follow, and he's quit his job. He's rented a van, and he's doing like furniture removal for people. And in all honesty, I'm invested in his story now. And I think if you put out a course on how to start your own furniture removal business, I imagine a big chunk of his audience would probably be thinking, yeah, I'd buy that. Because it's totally different content. Like, I'm invested in him and his journey, whereas the other guy got millions of likes and what I consider rubbish. Like, is not invested in him. Come along and replace his stuff tomorrow.
Still in its infancy, isn't it? Generally, like these kind of social media, they'd start off with a load of crap, and then until people find a way to use them effectively. So, or it just dies.
It goes back to our old kind of, we talked about this before in terms of the kind of content you're making. If you're making content like myself and Doug, which is about you, and you're sharing experiences, knowledge, whatever it is, then obviously TikTok is probably a valuable platform for you. And I've done TikTok and I've had a bit of success, but I just haven't got around to being asked to do it anymore. Same with YouTube Shorts. I know I need to do those. Probably I would get a bigger community by doing that. But if it's for a niche site, like, I wouldn't do a TikTok for my popcorn website or if I played darts and I was a darts player, then I'd probably do a darts one. But end of the day, those kind of sites get a lot of their traffic from search, because that's what you're going for. You're going to answer people's questions. And I don't know, do people search on TikTok like they do on Google? I don't think so.
Well, I don't even think that's they do. I think there is stats to say they search on it, but TikTok's now been indexed on Google. So whenever you Google a search term, the video results can include TikTok videos. That changed a couple of months back. So I think Google is inadvertently driving more traffic to TikTok now.
Interesting. Well, I'll close out with the weirdest niche that I ever heard of. So I was at this conference, and one of my friends said her neighbor is blowing up on TikTok. She quit her job. Her husband quit his job. They got a new fancy car. Her niche is breast milk jewelry. It's a thing that somehow it sounds like human, milk cheese or something like that. But she makes jewelry. It's a thing. Like, there's other websites. So if you Google like breast milk jewelry, there's ads for it too. So it's a new industry, and I would say, everyone look it up.
I'm looking at it now.
Google that. Yeah, this is an untapped industry. I don't know where they're getting the milk, but you send in your own breast milk, and then they
put it in there.
I don't know, but the thing is, so you send it in. She does whatever chemistry experiment that she's doing, and then she sends you like a necklace or a ring or something like that. The thing is, though, all right, stay with me, guys. It's fucked up, right?
I have Googled it. It's a thing, yeah.
How do you know you're getting your own milk back? Do you think that she's really like separating it and sending back? It just doesn't add up.
You'd get it DNA tested, I guess.
You could.
It's enclosed in a ring now, isn't it? They say.
According to Ahrefs, 19,000 people a month search for breast milk jewelry.
Jesus.
I didn't even
What a
know
niche!
the real
What a
name.
niche to be in.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know you, but I'm going to a registrar now and I'm registering semen jewelry.
You beat me to it. Yeah. That's perfect. That is perfect.
I don't think you should be making anything out of any bodily fluids, really.
Yeah. This is.
Oh wait, interesting. I want to know the answer to this one. It says Numerology 101 says they had a TikTok account with over 1 million followers, but sold it. How much did you sell it for? Where did you sell it? Like,
wow.
Did you make any money with 1 million followers?
And was it on numerology?
I missed that. What was that?
Numerology 101 said they had a TikTok account with over 1 million followers, but sold it.
Damn. All right. Well, can anyone top that one? Oh man. Okay. Well, I think we closed it out. Any final thoughts? Any time wasting ideas before we close out? I don't have anything else.
Yeah. No, if you want to waste your time, install TikTok. Great way to waste time.
All right.
Other than that, yeah, I don't know.
Cool.
It's been a good stream, but I do have to go because I've got a Spanish lesson really soon.
We got a jet. Cool. Awesome. Anything else for people to check out? I know, Alex, you just published the video on your site recovery, so people should watch that, right?
Yep. Yeah, I've had some comments. Some people are saying that maybe it is linked to Web Core Vitals. So could be. It's very difficult to know, isn't it? That's the thing with these updates. And, you try and fix your site, you make some changes. You never quite know which change it was that actually moved the needle back in the right direction.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, I've got a Spanish lesson soon. So.
All right. Mark, Adam, what's going on?
Just a quick one from us. We've got some interesting guests tomorrow from a company called Beepo. They do seller financing for websites. So SaaS e-commerce, and they've just started doing finance options for content sites. In the US, there's a lot more options for financing, for buying and growing kind of sites. But outside the US, I think it's still a relatively new thing. There's nothing in the UK. There's nothing for UK people, for example, or I don't think many options outside the US. So we've asked them to come on, explain how it works, explain what the options are. They've got some cool partnerships that they've partnered up with some of the Empire Flippers and some of the other marketplaces, and they've already pre-vetted the deal, so you can go onto their website and check and see how much funding they will offer you on the different businesses, which I thought was kind of cool. And this came about. I was looking for funding options myself. We've talked before in the past about different funding things, and I found them, and I thought, this is really cool, this is really interesting. So we asked them to come on and tell us how it works.
Yeah, how much do they take? How much do they want?
Well, it depends on the deal.
You have to watch.
Exactly. That's what we'll have to find out tomorrow.
You stop giving it away.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very cool. A lot of new option for people. So, and then for me, I had a couple great Doug.Show episodes in the last week. So last Thursday and then this past Monday. Very cool success stories. One's a 23-year-old, a guy named Forrest, who I think he was making like $25K a month, like kind of a new site, fairly young, just really crushing it. And then a guy named Cody, who actually lives 10 miles down the road here. And he revealed a site, 4 months old, $1,700 per month currently. So really grew it quickly. Great interviews. Please do check those out. Leave a comment over there. That does help algorithmically and all that kind of stuff. So, and I think that's it. We'll be back next week, everyone. If you want to get notifications, there's a link in the description there. You can sign up, and we'll ping you an hour before we go live, and we'll be on one of y'all's channels talking about something so interesting.
Website Builders channel.
I think it's us again. Yeah.
Perfect. It's going to be riveting. I don't know what the topic is, but we're very excited. All right. Thanks,
Doug,
everyone.
you didn't even mention the Queen once, did you?
No, I did not.
You
Do
didn't
you guys
console
want
us.
to?
You can see that we're all in bits about it. And
Do you want to take a moment and?
Have a
Say
moment
anything?
silence before we.
I've
before we-
just seen that, you know, you can go and see the Queen. You can't see it because it's closed. But the queue is currently 2.5 miles long.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
Crazy.
Anyway, good.
All right, that's it for today. Thanks.
Cool.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Cheers.
Alex.
Bye bye.